There are literally dozens and dozens of brands that were once at the top of their game, only to fall from prominence. Some wash out, others bounce back. These are their stories.
At some point during the period between painted portraits and iPhone portrait mode, photography came on the scene as Joseph Nicephore Niepce took what's widely recognized as the first successful photograph in 1816. Fast forward a century or so, and photography had vastly improved. The only problem, photos still took a week to develop. Enter American scientist and inventor Edwin Land. In 1932, he co-founded the company that would later be called Polaroid. Drawing on personal research on light polarization, Land created polarized sunglasses, custom-designed products for the armed services, and a vast array of other innovations that harnessed this power. These incredible inventions established Land as a bold innovator and visionary for his time. But when Land turned his focus to photography, Polaroid truly became a household name. In 1947, Land debuted the Polaroid Land camera, which shortened the time it took to develop a photo significantly, from 7 days to 60 seconds. Suddenly, the public had a new way to capture their special moments in a single minute, and photography was forever altered. All 57 units sold out the day they hit the shelves, and Polaroid totally took off. Land and the other brains of the brand continued to innovate, finding new ways to improve the camera. And in 1972, Polaroid launched the SX70 camera system, which first produced the style of Polaroid photos we're familiar with today. People loved it, and the numbers prove it. In 1974, 1 billion Polaroid photos were taken. And it wasn't just the general public that used Polaroid. The brand had hired famed photographer Ansel Adams as a consultant, and before Instagram and influencer marketing existed, the company was recruiting other photographers through its artist support program and providing them with Polaroid cameras and film. This enabled Polaroid to have their products tested by industry vets and eventually resulted in a company collection of over 16,000 fine art photographs. And despite multiple legal battles with copycatting companies, the Polaroid brand had carved out its niche, and it managed to dominate for decades. But the future was far from perfect. The story of Polaroid's drama and near demise is similar to that of so many other companies, and one of the most famous examples of its kind. Edwin Land's final product as leader of the company was Polavision, a color motion picture system that failed to catch customers' eyes or ignite their excitement. The product bombed, costing Polaroid a wealth of R&D and marketing spend, not to mention a fair amount of brand equity. Hit hard by the failure of Polavision, soon after, Land retired. But that wasn't the straw that broke the camera's back. With its fearless leader and inspired innovator gone, the brand then committed one of the cardinal sins of business: failure to innovate. Polaroid's leaders firmly believed in photography in its physical form. Photos could be displayed on walls, slid into albums, and mailed off to be hung on grandparents' refrigerators. But there was a problem with the passion for the paper print. It was coupled with the belief that everyone else in the world shared this undying love, loyalty, and assumption that hard copies just weren't going anywhere. Unfortunately, the industry and consumers didn't agree. New technologies and cameras flooded the market in the 90s and beyond, resulting in more competition and forever changing the photography landscape. Customers moved in a more digital direction, and while Polaroid had done extensive research into digital imaging and even had become a top seller of digital cameras, its leaders were in denial that digital was the future and refused to go all in on electronics. Between 2001 and 2009, Polaroid filed for bankruptcy twice, and the company went through 6 CEOs between 2005 and 2009. Despite the innovation legacy of Edwin Land, Polaroid had lost its spark. The once beloved brand officially ceased production of Land cameras in 2006 and stopped making instant film altogether 2 years later. For most brands, the story would just end there. A refusal, denial, or even delay to adapt has been the kiss of death for countless companies, but not Polaroid. After the company filed for bankruptcy a second time in 2008, it sold its assets to a holding company. And from there, the brand got creative with new strategies and embarked on new ventures. It joined forces with other organizations in partnership and licensing agreements, entered new product categories, and even expanded beyond photography, returning to its roots and integrating Land's trademark technology, polarization, into tablets, TVs, and various forms of digital media. These were smart moves and kept the brand itself alive, but Polaroid was no longer producing the products synonymous with its name. To the company, bringing instant film back felt like a futile effort and an impossible mission. And that's exactly when a certain project, spearheaded by a team of Polaroid superfans, took it on. The aptly named Impossible Project, led by entrepreneur and instant film freak Florian Capps, leased the former Polaroid factory and bought the equipment, insistent that there was still a real market for the brand's signature product. After some serious reverse engineering, in 2010, the project began selling Polaroid's once instant film classic, along with new products. And in 2017, it released a new Polaroid instant camera, the One Step 2. Responsible for the resurgence of vinyl, pinball, and handwritten letters, nostalgia has proven to be a powerful marketing strategy for Polaroid. What's old is new again, and Polaroid offered customers in a digitally dominated world something that they were craving, a physical manifestation of a magical moment. Later the same year, the group behind the Impossible Project took their obsession a step further. They purchased the Polaroid brand itself. In a twist of fate, the passion and unwavering belief in the physical photograph that nearly killed the company was also, strangely, what resurrected it. And just like that, Polaroid was officially back, now as Polaroid Originals. While Polaroid's story has a happy ending, many brands aren't so lucky. And though fans build brands, very few can bank on a powerful, impassioned group of fans coming together to bail them out and bring them back to life. The lesson from Polaroid's journey is not to disregard industry change, to stick to your guns, or to bank on a dedicated fan base bailing you out. The real story here is about the innovative spark and spirit of the company, and that of its eventual successors that led to the resurgence that no one could see coming. It's about paying attention to and harnessing the power of new technologies, thinking about what customers want and adapting strategically, all the while staying true to one's brand. It's about the need for future forecasting and the importance of continuous improvement and evolution. The lesson of Polaroid is that innovation isn't optional and must remain forever in focus, or the big picture will end up overexposed and photo finished. Strike a pose, people.
Cha-ching, 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 cha-ching. Polaroid.